What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for checking out my first Game Room collection video tour. This room has been a labor of love for the last few years, and I'm constantly adding cool new pieces to my setup. I'm a longtime video gamer first and foremost, but consider myself a Marvel, Star Wars, and Pokémon superfan as well. So I really try to showcase those hobbies as best as I can here. As I've gotten older and responsibilities have increased, I don't have as much time for gaming as I used to, but I've come to appreciate the value of surrounding yourself with the nerdy stuff you enjoy. I'm a huge believer in maintaining that childlike excitement for the games and franchises I love, and so this basement is a testament to all of the good memories I have enjoying those hobbies. I'm Matt, and this is my Game Room collection. So what better place to start the tour than with my giant wall of games here? These are 5 IKEA Billy bookcases, and they are all loaded with my entire video game collection that I've accumulated for the last 35 years. This has everything from original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 80s, 90s stuff, all the way through current stuff, Nintendo Switch, PS5, Xbox Series X. These games are all of my games that I've grown up with. These are the ones that I've bought, kept, and just held on to. I was never somebody who traded in games, so I'd say about 95% of this collection is games that I bought when they were brand new and just held on to for the last 30 years or so. So let's get into it. This first shelf on the left here is dedicated to my retro games. This one here is, the top shelf has Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Coming down, you'll see I have some of the old retro classics like Nintendo 64, original NES, and Super Nintendo. Got a lot of classics there. And then down below, I have just a few trinkets I've accumulated over the years. I have the Star Wars Edition Xbox 360 that looks like R2-D2 with a C-3PO controller. I've got some unopened Halo 3 controllers. Halo is a series that's close to my heart, so I like to have those in box and on the shelf here. And then the gold cartridge that came with the recent Nintendo World Championship Edition. At the bottom, I also have the Resident Evil chainsaw controllers, both the GameCube and the PS2 controllers. They are not very great to use as controllers. I wouldn't recommend using them, but they do look awesome on the shelf. And then I do have a complete in box Time Crisis 3. Again, it was always fun to play those light games back in the day. This middle area here is kind of just a bunch of random collectibles I have here. These are some of the Zelda Amiibo, the more recent ones. I've got a bigger Amiibo collection. You'll see those shortly. This middle shelf is just the original Pokémon Red, Blue, and Yellow boxes. They're not the complete in box series or anything. These are just for display. They're empty boxes. And then this bottom shelf has 3 of the Nintendo 64 Funtastic collection. I loved that series back in the 90s when all the technology was translucent. It had those fun colors. And so I have the red, blue, and green right now. And hope to get the rest of the collection probably sometime in the next few months. Moving over to the right here, this is my handheld collection. These are, again, my handheld consoles that I've had since I was a kid. The top shelf there is those more recent Game & Watch collections, the Super Mario and the Legend of Zelda. But coming down, there's my original Game Boy, my original Game Boy Color, my original Game Boy Advance, as well as the Analog Pocket. Great hardware for for playing, old Game Boy games and emulators and that sort of thing. This is a special edition unit. This was a translucent green, again, kind of evoking that theme from the Nintendo 64 Funtastic age. By the way, these do have new screens put on them. They are not pristine from my childhood. I did open them up and place the screens just to make them look more modern. I have my Nintendo DS collection, as well as my Nintendo 3DS. And then down below, my PlayStation Vita, as well as a Rob the Robot. This I bought from a friend for relatively cheap a few years ago, and it's cool to just have on the shelf. Just a cool piece of gaming history there. To the right is my Nintendo shelf. This is everything from GameCube, Wii, and Wii U, as well as the more recent Nintendo Switch. Kind of running out of room here. Got a lot of great Nintendo Switch games. Kind of have a shelf just with some highlights of Nintendo Switch there. There's the Nintendo Wii. There is Nintendo DS as well as 3DS, as well as a few PlayStation Vita games. And then on the bottom, just a few Nintendo trinkets. I've got Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, the Nintendo Wii Balance Board, as well as the GameCube Donkey Konga drums. I actually have 4 of those, so if I ever needed to play 4-player Donkey Konga, I can do so. This middle shelf here has all of my PlayStation games. This is PlayStation 4. Probably got about close to 100 games there. Then coming down the middle here, this is kind of just a shelf where I have these neon lights as well as some special edition controllers, the God of War Ragnarok controller as well as the Spider-Man 2 controller. Both very cool. I love a good collector's edition controller. There is my small but growing PS5 collection. And down below, I've got, of course, the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PSP classics. Lastly, this shelf on the right is all my Xbox stuff. I'm a big Xbox boy, especially from 20 years ago, more so. But here is original Xbox. I have kind of a shelf here highlighting the Halo series. I do love Halo, especially in the Bungie days. So that's Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Halo Reach. Then there's this Xbox One and Xbox Series X shelf. Not too many games for that one. Everything's digital in the new age. Halo Master Chief Collection, as well as a collector's edition of Fallout 3. That's actually a lunchbox that's totally usable and had a bunch of cool trinkets and stuff inside. Much like the PlayStation shelf, I also have this neon light as well as a few collector's edition controllers. There's the Starfield controller, the Xbox 20th anniversary, and the Captain America controller. I do love that one. And then down below, this is actually my Xbox 360 shelf. This is by far the largest game library I have. Xbox 360 was kind of my prime age of gaming. I was in my early 20s buying pretty much every new release that ever came out. Probably have close to, I don't know, somewhere between 300 and 400 boxed Xbox 360 games. Then lastly, up top, I just have a bunch of boxes I've accumulated recently. Again, those are all the limited edition controllers and stuff that I've bought. There's the Xbox, there's those PlayStation controllers. I've got the new Astrobot controller for PlayStation. Bunch of Nintendo Switch stuff. The original, or my Switch OLED box. I do have complete in box the NES edition Nintendo Switch controllers to play the NES games with on Nintendo Switch. And then lastly, this is a framed poster complete showing the entire mural from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This has every fighter that was ever released in Super Smash Bros., all kind of just in their poses here. I'm a huge Super Smash Bros. Fan and kind of loved how much Nintendo history they put in that, so it was fun to just get that custom-made poster there that features the entire cast. So that's the game shelf. So moving on from my game shelves, these are my Maju case shelves. These are pretty awesome shelves for housing all of my Hot Toys collectibles. They're great for showing off any high-end collectibles that you have. They've got the felt lining, the LED lights. It's great. You can buy the optional shelves. I do love these shelves. This is where I chose to put all of my Hot Toys. Although I will say that the price is very high, as well as the delivery times are pretty wild. I'm not going to go over this collection figure by figure in the interest of time, but I'll give you a quick overview of what each shelf means to me and that sort of thing. I do have another dozen or so figures on pre-order, so if you'd like to see a more in-depth breakdown, especially in the next few months, just feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm happy to make a more in-depth breakdown. So this top right shelf that I have, this is my Marvel collection from the Infinity Saga. This is kind of all of their characters in their peak. More or less, most of these are from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. This is kind of my favorite interpretation of these characters. All of these characters are kind of core members of the Avengers. as I like to see them, kind of in their prime form. Loved Thor in Infinity War, for example, rather than his Endgame version. But yeah, very happy with this shelf. Moving on, this shelf to the left kind of just has a hodgepodge. This front row is kind of just some one-off, more recent Marvel characters that didn't really fit in the Avengers shelf. Got Moon Knight there, Mighty Thor, as well as Loki from his TV series. And in the back, I just have a few Guardians of the Galaxy characters. There's Rocket, Groot, Star-Lord, and Thanos from his appearance in Avengers Endgame. Down below that, I have kind of just classic Star Wars. I don't have a huge collection of classic characters yet, but I am in the process of kind of collecting a lot of the core characters. So the back shelf is kind of just anything from the prequel area. I've got a few clones there, a few Jedi, as well as you need to have Darth Maul. And then in the front, the original trilogy era characters, Lando, Luke, a few troopers there, C-3PO. Got many more coming in the future, so hope to expand that shelf shortly. And then to the right, I have, these are all characters that were kind of inspired by the Disney Plus era of the Star Wars universe. Mainly Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. I've got a few from the Ahsoka TV show series coming in soon. I have enjoyed, for the most part, most of the Disney Plus shows, Mandalorian especially. So yeah, just a bunch of cool collectibles. And then lastly, on the bottom, I just have my classic game consoles. This is my original Nintendo from when I was a kid. Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube with Game Boy Player, my Nintendo Wii, and my Wii U. I don't play many classic games these days. These are kind of just there to remind me of all the good times I had playing those consoles as a kid. So that's the Mod Case shelf. Moving on, this is my home theater area. This is the view from my couch every night when I'm playing a video game or watching a movie. Great way to unwind at the end of a long day. The TV itself is an LG C1, a 77-inch. This is from 2021. There have been new models since then. I also have an LG soundbar below that to help give the room a little more boom when I'm watching a movie. Above that, I have these Govee hexagon lights to help give the room a little more light and theater atmosphere. Decorating it down below, I have an IKEA Besta TV cabinet. This holds all of my game consoles. You see I have my Xbox Series X, my PlayStation 5, as well as my OLED model Nintendo Switch. Down below here, it's just a place where I keep all of my extra controllers, headsets, that sort of thing. But great way to store things. Consoles don't overheat in there. There are holes in the back. You probably can't see them from here, but it doesn't get too overheated or anything like that. Surrounding the TV area, I do have these statues that are also displayed in IKEA Besta cabinets. These are decorated with just a whole bunch of my favorite statues from video game franchises, movies, comic books. There's a few Lego pieces. Starting here in the top left, this is the quarter scale Samus Aran from Metroid Prime. This is probably one of my favorite statues that I own, favorite pieces in my whole collection actually. Great quarter scale piece, has a great color to it, has a lot of presence to it as well. Coming down below, these are 3 Pokemon statues from First 4 Figures. You've got the Venusaur, the Charizard, and the Blastoise. These are not quarter scale like the others are. It just fits well with the 3 Pokemon starters in there. Below that, I have the Link on horseback piece. This is also from First 4 Figures. This is from his appearance in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Really cool piece. The cape is fabric, has a lot of detail from the Legend of Zelda game. The horse is fantastic. Really cool piece in my collection. And then down below here, this is a full-scale Majora's Mask from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is also from First Four Figures. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is one of my favorite video games of all time. Love how chilling this mask looks. Certainly gives a lot of presence to my theater area and helps me celebrate one of my favorite game franchises. Coming along the right, at the bottom I have two Lego pieces. I'm not the biggest Lego guy, but I do enjoy building them from time to time. This is the Lego King Bowser. This was a lot of fun to build. My kids got me this for Father's Day one year. Above that, I have the Lego Guardians of the Galaxy ship. Comes with some cool minifigures of the Guardians. There's Thor there. The ship was really cool. Got that for Christmas one year. Above that is the quarter scale Wolverine. This is a piece from Sideshow Collectibles. This is really cool. It's actually my only comic book themed statue in my setup, but definitely a lot of fun. Love having this one. He looks really menacing, especially on that crushed Sentinel hand down below. And then up top, I have one more quarter scale. This is Banjo-Kazooie. Love that Nintendo 64 game. Always fun to remember the good times I had on Nintendo 64. Moving along to the right, I have these Star Wars helmets up here. These are all from the Star Wars Black Series collection. I've got Bo-Katan Kryze, Din Djarin the Mandalorian, a Stormtrooper, Darth Vader, a Rebel pilot mask, Luke Skywalker, and Boba Fett. Again, those are all the Hasbro Black Series line. You can get more screen accurate helmets, but for the price, you can't beat these. I have these all mounted to the wall with motorcycle helmets. They're meant for hanging up helmets in garages, but yeah, does the job here. Helps give a little more personality to the room. And behind that, I have a Govee Glide light. That's been really cool. I love you can set them to different colors. Helps theme things based on the movie you're watching and give a little more color and life to the room. I have a second Govee Glide light here above my movie posters. Again, trying to give the room a little more of a home theater vibe. So I decorate it with three of my favorite movies. Got Back to the Future, Avengers Infinity War, and Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Three of my favorite franchises and my favorite movie from each one of those franchises. Along this wall here, I have a few disassembled video game frames. These are from a studio called Grid Studio. They make really cool pieces, breaking apart basically controllers or old Game Boys, help giving a lot of display options. They've got them for everything all the way back here, original Nintendo. They have new ones all the way up to PlayStation 5, but makes it look really cool and decorative. They're kind of elegant looking too. So I've got two of those there. Moving on to the couches themselves. These are Party Time sofa recliners from Ashley Furniture. Again, help give the room kind of that home theater vibe. They've been really comfortable. They recline really well. They have LED light up features. Really comfortable. Love hosting movie nights at my place. I've got another one here in the middle. This is probably the prime seating in the room. Alongside the side of these couches, I do have rear speakers on either side. Again, help give a little more boom when you're watching a movie there. And above those, on each side, I have three video game frames. I love the pixel art aesthetic of these. This one is from Pokémon, Super Mario World, and Donkey Kong Country. And on this side, we have Cuphead, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Super Mario 64. Yeah, these are from a studio called Retro Games Crafts. Again, love the pixel art look of it. They look like they're straight out of the video game. Gives a little more flair to the room. Lastly, I have my wife's Peloton bike here. I'm not much of a Peloton user myself. I prefer going to the gym. My wife does use this pretty regularly though. I'm gonna be honest, don't like where it's put here. I feel like it kind of ruins the flow of the room. That said, my wife lets me have this entire game room. She puts up with a lot of my crap, a lot of my collectibles. I am more than happy to give her this tiny space if that's what it takes to keep this awesome room going. Take care of your partners, people. They take care of us. To the left of my home theater area, this is my home desk setup. I do work from home, so this is where I do all of my work during the day. The desk itself is an uplift desk. This has been great. I love that you can change the height, sitting to standing, helps get the blood flowing in the middle of the day and switch things up. The computer itself is just a basic laptop. Nothing really to write home about. I just work on it. It's not something I play PC games on or anything like that. The monitor arm is also from Uplift Desk, and the monitors are just basic 24-inch Samsungs. Nothing fancy really there. I do love this chair. I did invest in a high-end Secret Lab Titan chair. This has been great. Again, I'm not much of a PC gamer, but it's been a great, comfortable seat just for working 50 hours a week from home. I may as well be comfortable, right? So I figured it was worth investing in, and I don't regret it one bit. Down below, I also have this memory foam footrest from Secret Lab. Cannot recommend this thing enough. It is comfortable, helps keep your legs propped up, nice and soft. They also have heated versions. Kind of wish I had gone with that, but this has been great. Cannot recommend that enough. Above my desk, I have another movie poster. That's for Avengers Endgame, as well as a full-size replica of Captain America's shield. This is real metal. Love this thing. Really shiny, very high-end. I have that attached to the wall with a ladder hook. Again, meant for a garage to hang up ladders. Put a wooden dowel through the back of the shield, hung it on the ladder hook. Looks great there. Have not had any problems. Moving on over here, this is my home bar area. When I built the basement a few years ago, I knew that I wanted to have a place to entertain, to have company over, whether it's family for holidays, whether it's friends for video game nights, movie nights. And so this was essential. I wanted to have a place where people can come hang out, have a good time. I do have 4 bar stool seating here. Got a number of specialty glasses here. Love getting themed glasses for my home bar, especially fitting the nerdy vibe with the rest of the room. Got Super Smash Brothers themed Majora's Mask, Zelda and Pokemon glasses. I've got a few Viking tankards, a PlayStation glass, various shot glasses I've picked up over the years. A giant mug for Ninja Turtles. That's actually mine from when I was very young. Just held on to it. Up here I have some various Marvel statues, again keeping the geeky theme with the room. These are various pieces I've accumulated throughout the years. Really cool, just help give the bar area a little more personality to match the theme of the room. And here I've just got some hard alcohol. I am more of a beer guy, so I do have a fully stocked beer fridge here. Love visiting craft breweries and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's the home bar. This is an area that I would like to work on a little more in the next few years. I'd like to give it a little more maybe color or personality. Thought about adding a few LED lights, maybe some rope lights, maybe even a television right there above the working sink. Yeah, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know in the comments. This area over here is used for other various collectibles I have. Starting with the arcade 1-up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Couldn't wait to have a home arcade. It's something I always dreamed of as a kid. Do love these arcade 1-up cabinets. This was $3.99 when I bought it. I know the prices have gone up significantly since because they've added light fixtures and bar stools, online capabilities, that sort of thing. That $3.99 in my opinion was the ideal price point. I do play this occasionally with friends. It is more decorative at this point. I probably could mod it, get a few more additional games on it, but it's really cool to have and love just breaking it out to play some 4-player sometimes. This whole display here is an IKEA Kallax filled with various collectibles I've accumulated over the years. You'll see I have some Marvel Studios 1-to-1 scale props. This is an actual Mjolnir replica, Thor's hammer. It is really heavy. It weighs about 10 pounds if you're worthy enough to lift it. That is really cool. Looks awesome on the shelf. A few more Marvel pieces. I have Tony Stark's arc reactor from the first Iron Man movie. Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto. Thor's hat from Thor Love and Thunder, as well as Ant-Man's book that he wrote from the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I think it's pretty hilarious that I just have a book of Paul Rudd sitting on the shelf here. You'll see I also have other various video gaming collector's edition statues. This one here is the Spider-Man from the PlayStation 4 game. I've got the Halo 3 Legendary helmet, a Gears of War 3 statue. That's the Mario Kart from the home remote control Mario Kart version. I forget the name of that one. My kids love that one. And then a statue from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I also have this Lego Darth Vader helmet, another one that my kids got me for Father's Day one year. That was really fun to build. And I also have Darth Vader's lightsaber, as well as Cal Kestis' lightsaber from the video game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Both of those are from Disney Galaxy's Edge. The 2 times I've been to Disney the last few years, I just buy a lightsaber. They're really cool. I've considered getting one of the more high-end lightsabers. I know they're expensive, but they can do so much more. They look cooler on the shelf. We'll see. Maybe that's in the future. Then I have other various art books, video game strategy guides, as well as some comic book graphic novels that I've accumulated over the years. Not so much of a comic guy anymore these days. I stopped reading around the time I had kids, but it is fun to just open up a graphic novel and just read some classic stories sometimes. At the top, you'll see I also have this Gengar neon light. This was really cool. Gives the room a little more character. Gengar is one of my favorite Pokemon characters, so that's really cool. Love having this one on the shelf. Moving on to the left here, I have 2 more of those IKEA Billy bookcases filled with a bunch of various Amiibo and Pokemon trading cards I've accumulated throughout the years. Funny story about these Pokemon cards. These are my actual Pokemon cards that I had as a kid from 1999. I've just held on to them in a binder for the last 20 years. My kids got really into Pokemon cards last year, and I found my binder, decided it was worth grading the cards, whether I decided to sell them or keep them. And I've just had them kind of here on the shelf. I've loved the grading process. It is terrifying putting your cards in the mail, but the way that they look when they come back is pretty fantastic. Got some from way back in the original set, all the way in 1999. Some of these grades were great. I got back like an 8 out of 10. Some of them are 6s. I'd say most of them were a 7 or above though, thankfully. So I've got the base set, the Pokemon Gym set, the Team Rocket set. Started getting into it way back in the Neo Genesis days when Pokemon Gold and Silver came out, so that's about when I stopped. Collected from about 1999 through 2001. These are a few Pokeball replicas. These are from a company called The Wand Company. These are high-end. They're actually die-cast metal. They look really cool. They light up when you actually get close. You can see, you can press the buttons there. I don't know, that one's not working right now. Maybe I need new batteries, but they're really cool. They light up. And then down below, I have some more modern Pokemon cards. I've got a whole bunch from the Pokemon 151 set that you can see there. Again, these are just some high-end ones that I've accumulated since I've started getting back into the hobby with my kids. Lastly, this is my Amiibo collection from Nintendo. These are the little figurines that you can use, the Toys to Life figurines that work with your Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Wii U. This is the entire Super Smash Bros. Line that Nintendo has put out over the course of the last 10 years. So every single one of these is a character from the Super Smash Bros. Fighting game. That's a game, again, that is very close to my heart, so I wanted to collect the whole set. I also have a few limited edition Super Smash Bros. Controllers there for Nintendo GameCube that I've accumulated throughout the years, as well as the rest of the set. I could use a little better lighting over here. Been thinking about moving these figures somewhere else in the room, but yeah, for now, it's pretty awesome. I'm glad to have the entire set done, the latest one that came out this year. Last but not least, this is the newest addition to my basement. As you can imagine, my kids love coming to my side of the area. They touch everything, they like playing the games, they take the games off the shelves. So in an effort to kind of give them a place of their own, rather than have them come invading my territory, I built them their own game room here. You see, I kind of tried to mimic the same theme that I have on my side, but more kid-friendly stuff. So they have a 32-inch Samsung television, not much there to talk about. They've got their own Nintendo Switch, their own game library. My kids love Sonic and Mario. Just a few Pokemon and Nintendo figures they've accumulated. They've got their own Pokemon cards there, as well as a small but growing Funko Pop collection. They have more of these IKEA Kallax shelves where they kind of put together their Legos. My kids are big fans of Legos. Those are always good times to build. And then I also gave them their own movie posters, again, just to match their dad's side. That's Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Super Mario Brothers movie, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Just helps give a little more flavor to the room and you know, give them their own spot that matches my own thematically. Thank you all so much for checking out my game room tour. This video is my YouTube debut, so if you've enjoyed this, please consider liking and leaving a comment letting me know of any future additions or content you'd like to see. Please also consider following me on YouTube and Instagram at Matt's Game Room Collection, where I post weekly videos of new video games, cool collectibles, and comedy skits about nerd life. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.